And we're back now with David Brooks, the columnist of the New York Times. I thought it was very interesting hearing both Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell today, and there seems to be agreement. This bill is going to have to change drastically if it's going to pass this.
Yeah, I suspect it will pass, but the big change is this. There's a stimulus that everyone agrees on. We need to hit the economy hard in a couple months. And I think there's bipartisan agreement on things that'll do that. But what happened either in the Obama White House or in the House is they added on a whole bunch of permanent things, to entitlements, to Head Start programs, to health care. This is stuff that's not over the next 3 months. This is stuff that's over the next several years and which is permanent. There's a lot of opposition, both in the Republican Party, and frankly, I've spoken to a lot of moderate Democrats who are anguished about this. Why did we stick Head Start in here? Why did we stick all this health care stuff in here? I mean, I understand why they want to do it. You've got this train leaving the station. You can fund it all with deficits. So they threw it in there, but stripping a lot of that out and targeting it, and so making it so really putting the paddles on the chest of the patient, that would get a lot of support.
It almost makes you wonder if maybe there's kind of a fix in here, that you put a bunch of stuff in the House bill so you'd have some things you could take out when it got to the Senate, and then everybody could say they made their point, and in the end you pass this bill.
Well, you think they're smarter than I do. You know, I don't think they planned it this way. I think they just saw this thing as leaving the station. We want all this stuff. I mean, when a crisis happens, everyone takes the stuff they want and they say, let's do this. So they did that. But if they begin to take that out, and if they do this other stuff, I thought Senator Schumer made real news here when he talked about the housing thing. This is something everybody watching the program can understand. Not only if you get a bonus for a tax credit for buying the program, but if the Democrats and the Obama administration are open to the Republican idea of lowering mortgage rates to 4.5%, then everyone here can refinance. And I don't know if that's a good or bad idea, but if they're thinking about big things in the housing front and on the banking front, then that's going to really create a bipartisan spirit that we actually don't see right now in the stimulus bill.
What do you think, what else has to come out of this bill to get Republican support for it, do you think?
As I say, it's the sprawlingness of it. It's, you know, we want to put paddles on the patient. What this bill does is it takes a wire, sticks it on the patient, and then another wire, and then another wire. In 18 months, there's another wire on the patient. So it's the long, drawn-out nature of the thing that a lot of moderate Democrats were concerned about. And so getting some of that stuff out and focusing it. And I think we heard bipartisan agreement on the general outlines of the focus. More infrastructure, but especially more tax cuts for the lower middle class. Senator McConnell talked about it. The Democrats are certainly open to that, maybe a payroll tax cut. And so that the tax cuts, which have come down to about 22% of the whole package, way down, really are immediate. They may not be as effective as maybe some other things, but they're immediate. And the speed is really what's important.
What do you think is going to happen to the Bush tax cut for upper income people? A lot of people said that maybe Obama will just leave those in place and let them expire when they're due to expire, rather than wiping them out. Nancy Pelosi says no way, no how on that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the economy. It's really tough to raise taxes when the economy is still in the tank, and on the rich or anybody else. So I don't think they're going to do that. What really impresses me about the economy, and I think what's important about the Judd Gregg pick, is that Barack Obama, as much as he's spending now and the deficit is going to just zoom, he really does seem serious about the idea of reforming entitlements in the medium term, starting even in a couple months. And Judd Gregg certainly has been talking about that. If he can save us billions of dollars over for Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, then the zillions we're spending now will be survivable.
And let's talk a little bit about Tom Daschle. I'm sure you, as I was a little surprised to find out that Tom Daschle apparently didn't pay $140,000 in income tax. I guess he's saying he didn't understand that he owed that. But be that as it may, this is the second nominee now who somehow forgot to pay his income tax, and then on top of that you have Bill Richardson, whose name was drawn down and nobody really knows exactly why that came about. Is Daschle going to be confirmed, do you think? I
think so. Barack Obama apparently joked last night that he was slow to pick his Labradoodle for his daughters because the dog he picked owed some back taxes. And so, you know, this is how he's closing the deficit. He named someone, we get some money from the IRS and back taxes, we're making a lot of money off this. But I think at the end of the day, he's going to survive this because he's so popular. He's in the club. People like him. People respect him in general. And the problem is he gave money to 14 senators. It's going to be hard for those senators, I assume they're all Democrats, to vote for him because it'll look like, oh, he gave him money, so of course he voted for him.
But, you know, an administration that's trying to say that it's transparent and all of that, the fact that 14 senators got contributions from this guy, and that's why they confirmed him. I'll tell you this, and some in the Senate have told me this, if he were not in the club, had he not been a member of the Senate, right, he probably would be dead meat right now, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, David.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you back in a second.